AITA for losing it at my sister after she said she can't attend my wedding. Throwaway. Username is a random generated one. This issue concerns my 30 sister, Alice, 28. We do usually get along well, but this is tanking our relationship. I'm getting married later this year. We don't have anything against kids but just want everything to go as smoothly as possible. And there's venue capacity, so we decided no kids under 10. Alice's daughter. My niece is currently 6 months. Will be almost 1 by the time of the wedding. I could kind of understand if she was 8/9. Not at a disruptive age. But she's not. Alice demanded I allow her to bring her daughter. But I said no. So now she told me she can't come to the wedding. I thought this was insane because both me and fiancé have friends and family with young kids. Arranging babysitting and making the effort to attend. I even offered Alice to get in touch with some of my friends and their trusted sitters. She refused. I kind of lost it at her and said she can't even make an effort to attend her own sister's wedding. And has attachment issues. Also, side note, earlier Alice also dropped out as one of my bridesmaids. Which wasn't great, but I understood. She got really pissed and is now refusing to talk to me. Parents are telling me to apologize to her for saying all that and I'm overreacting. Edit with some more info. Alice lives locally. She doesn't have to travel far. Babysitting would only be for an afternoon since she would be attending as a guest. Not a bridesmaid. And she's very well off financially. One afternoon of babysitting money is not much. Even if that was the issue. Her in-laws live in the area and not attending my wedding so they could look after her for the time. Think this should be in big letters so everyone here is aware. Hashtag her sister's husband died a few months ago. This is her first and only child. That's why she dropped out as bridesmaid. Op is more upset about her wedding than the fact her sister has lost her husband and understandably doesn't want to be away from their child. Hashtag YTA. From OP's comments. Her husband passed a few months ago. Isn't it convenient that Op forgot to mention this in the main post while she was accusing her sister of having attachment issues? Her sister's husband just died and left her with an infant. I rarely wish ill on people, but this asshole deserves it. You're allowed to not want kids under 10 at your wedding and your sister is allowed to decline the invite because she doesn't want to go without her child. You blowing up at her for not going isn't okay. YTA. YTA for posting yet another child-free wedding drama post and not looking at past posts to see that. You'd be the awe. It's not about child-free. You can do that. What you can't do is get mad at people who choose not to come because of it. It's an invitation, not a summons. You behaved badly. Apologize to your sister. YTA. You're allowed a child-free wedding but you have zero right to get pissed when people can't come. Because of your rules. It's that simple. YTA. Not because you made your wedding child-free. You can set rules, it is 100% your and your fiancé's wedding. But you have to accept the consequences of those rules on other people. You don't also get to dictate how they follow those rules. Your sister is choosing one of the options available to her because of your rules she chooses to not go. It is absolutely fair that since you set the rules, she's choosing to abide by them by not attending your wedding. Her not going is only because of your rule of no kids under 10. Her daughter is only 6 months old. She might possibly still be breastfeeding at the wedding. She's not making an effort to attend her sister's wedding. She's not insane. And she does not have attachment issues. Weddings can be long. And if it were me, I'd figure you don't want your niece there. I wouldn't go as her mom either. Apologize for going off on her. YTA, you want a child-free wedding. People with children have the right to not come. YTA, you are totally allowed to have a child-free wedding. But you can't get pissed if people, even your own sister, decide not to attend because of it. Edit. I wanted to edit to ask. Why 10? Why not 11? 12? YTA so much. Your sister lost her husband around the same time she had her baby, and you feel entitled to demand that she choose you over her baby. And then pout when she doesn't? Way to be a supportive sister. https www.reddit.com/r/AmITheAsshole/comments/130mx9x/comments/jhxbn69/ YTA. Yes. It's your wedding and you can decide it's child-free. And people with children can also choose not to come. Maybe she isn't ready to be away from her baby yet, and that is completely acceptable and understandable. You absolutely owe her an apology for your reaction. Side note. An actual baby is much easier to handle than a 10-year-old. Normally I would agree with the people saying you're in awe. Because an invitation is not a summons, and if she doesn't want to go without her baby, that's fine. But she is your sister, and I would be really hurt by that too. Weddings are huge family events. Why is everyone expecting op to compromise when the sister is refusing to? Don't tell people they have attachment issues though. You're not her therapist, and now she really isn't going to come to your wedding. Edit. I just saw that your sister dropped out as a bridesmaid because she is a recent widow. You are such an asshole. And the attachment issues comment after learning that context? Absolutely scummy. YTA. She dropped out from being a bridesmaid because her husband died, and you want her to separate from her baby when she doesn't want to? Seriously? YTA. You should mention that your sister is a freaking widow. You asshole. YTA, and I can't believe you are that selfish. YTA for snapping at her over it. It's your wedding, you can have it any way you want it. And she has the freedom to say no and not come if she disagrees with anything you're doing. It's not like she's not coming because she doesn't like the flowers you have. She's not coming because she doesn't want to leave her young child. Kids tend to be more important than siblings. YTA, when you ban kids from a wedding, you are taking the risk that those with kids affected by the ban will not show up. Young kids is not the same thing as baby. Telling a mother she has attachment issues because she does not consider it feasible to attend a wedding and leave her first and only young baby with a stranger is rude and shows that you know very little about children, their ages, the logistical needs and challenges that come along with the early months and years, and the difficulty with a sudden and jarring change to routine. Your sister probably has no idea what life will be like with an 11-mo. All she knows is that the last 6 months have been the hardest of her life. And she would be foolish to underestimate how hard it would be to rock the boat with baby care, at which she is no expert. Being a first-time mom, at some unknown point in the near future. Speaking from really painful experience, it is a nightmare to run back and forth to check on a little baby during a wedding. And even worse if you are still nursing and need to worry about either pumping or stepping out at the perfect time to meet baby's needs. When the baby is there, it gets fussy and you know it's time to nurse. When the baby is not there, you are tethered to a phone and constantly worrying that your baby will start screaming in hunger and will be miserable until you manage to get there, possibly with painfully engorged and leaking breasts, trying to enjoy being the only sober one in the room and not really in the mood to dance anyway. If you want her there and want to forbid her from bringing the tiny human that depends on her 24/7, You should set everything up to make it happen and thank her profusely for putting up with your childless wedding rules. My close friends with childless weddings arranged to have babysitting at a room steps away from the wedding facility, at their expense, so that I could slip out and back in very quickly. And even that really significantly impinged on my enjoyment of the night. Although there's a limit to the fun you can have with a baby in tow. I had such a better time at the weddings that welcomed my baby. And I was never rude enough to allow the fussing to be a disruption. My husband and I just teamed up. And when it was a wedding for one of my people, he took over the lion's share of the baby duty. And vice versa. When she asked, demanded, perhaps she was trying to tell you that she would only be able to come if you allowed the baby there or worked very hard with her to make sure that the baby could be just steps away. Laughing my ass off at op downvoting all the YTA verdicts, rolling on the floor laughing tears of joy. YTA 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 YTA. Op is next level bridezilla. Her husband passed a few months ago, so she dropped out as bridesmaid. Which hurt for sure. But I understood. Now she's saying she won't attend at all. Can't imagine why. YTA. Hey Op, since you're adding edits to your post, what about adding in how many months ago did your sister's husband pass away? YTA. Her husband died a few months ago and you're wondering why she doesn't want to leave her child to attend a wedding? Shockingly, some things are more important than your wedding. Edit. Op. YTA. You left out a very large piece of the puzzle in your story and it makes me question how honest your telling of this scenario is in general. Info. How long would sister need to find childcare in order to attend the wedding? Is she local and it'd just be an afternoon, or would she be traveling and overnight? Nah, based on information below, I understand why you don't want small children at the wedding, and it doesn't seem like an afternoon is too much to ask. However, maybe sister can't afford childcare, or just doesn't want to, or doesn't trust anyone else with the baby. When you have a child restriction on a wedding, some people may choose not to come based on that. Doesn't make either person an awe.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.